Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a massive closet clean. I'm doing both of my kids' closets and my own closet, and we are going through clothes and decluttering. And then for my kiddos, we are getting some clothes and adding them to their closets and writing down things that they might need. They both moved up a size for this spring and summer season, so there was quite a few things I wanted to get for each of them to fill up their closets a little bit more, and I will show you a list that I was making in a little bit. But we are tackling everything from socks, swimsuits, to pants, shoes, to just random things that are left in my kiddos' closets that don't belong there. We're taking care of those. And really just making sure that they only have things in their closets and drawers and dressers and things that actually fit them and that match for the season. So right now I'm in my son's room. He is currently in our nursery, and I call it our nursery because my daughter used this room and then we moved her out, and now my son's using this room, and eventually we'll move him out into his own room too, and hopefully another baby into this room. So going through his shorts, and I'm just gonna go down the piles here. We're gonna go through shorts, then short sleeve shirts, pants, and long sleeve shirts. And then there are some swimsuits in there that I've picked up for him for this summer season. So as you can tell, I drastically dwindled down the pants and long sleeve shirt sections, mainly because that we're moving out of that season. But I do like to keep the things that are their size in the drawer, or just like a couple of extra things, because I just feel like you never know when you might need a pair of sweatpants or a long sleeve shirt. Or right now during this transition phase, they definitely still need pants and long sleeves. And then on the flip side, once we're transitioning into fall, I might not have all of their like fall and winter clothes out, but they'll have sweatpants and t-shirts that we can toss on if they're needed. So now I'm going through his hanging clothes and just seeing what is too small to get rid of. And then we are going to be restocking in here some 3T items and hanging them up, mostly pajamas. My mom is always on top of it, and she's always gifting them like the next size clothing, and I so appreciate that, because then they always have something to wear. Because it feels, for me, it always feels like they wake up and I'm like, why do none of your pants fit? And like all of the sudden. And so having these items on hand is really helpful, because then you feel like you have things that fit. So if you are looking for like an idea to tell someone on what to get your kiddo, you can always give them like the next size up in clothing, or maybe just go out and buy a couple things yourself. I just think that having some of these things on hand is really nice and helpful as we're transitioning seasons and sizing. So for the most part, my son's closet isn't too messy. So those clothes that were up top, those were all clothes, 3T clothes, the next size up. So I put some sweatpants and some shirts in the drawer that we just decluttered, and now I'm hanging up any hanging items. I don't really have like a rhyme or reason or a plan when I'm deciding like what goes in the drawers and what hangs, but I have a pretty good system. It's like PJs, nice clothes, sweatshirts, any sets of items, like matching sets, tops and bottoms, those go in the closet, and then his like really laid back casual like shorts, pants, t-shirts, those go in the drawer. So I've been writing down as I'm going through his clothes things that I need. So for instance, I noticed he probably needs 1 or 2 more crew neck sweatshirts. We still put him in a sweatshirt at night because he's in a sack right now. And so I don't like him to have short sleeves, and a lot of his PJs that he has have short sleeves. So I like to have a lot of crew necks. And then it also said like 3 to 4 shirts and shorts, and I just like to have things on hand. A place that we like shopping is Walmart, and it's so cheap, like $2.98. So it doesn't really feel like super painful to go and shop for that. So that black bin right there in the corner, I like to keep that on hand and toss any clothes in there that no longer fit as we go through, just life. And so he actually had a bunch of clothes in that bin when I was decluttering and organizing this closet. So here's just kind of the overview. I have some blankets up top. I have like hats and mittens that a newborn would use, and then just a little bin that I've already gone through. But this is just Jax's closet. So this is clothes that I thought were seasonal, and then some other clothes that I still need to go through and fold, because he had some 2T things and he also had some 18-month things. So I'm going to store those a little bit differently. Now I'm in my daughter's room, and she is going to actually have like a dedicated like hanging area for her dress up clothes a little bit lower once I finish up her closet. She definitely needs some work. She doesn't have a dresser like my son. So right now you can see there's piles on her floor. So I hang up a lot more in her closet than I do in my son's closet, just because really I just don't want things on the floor. But she has a pants pile, a shorts and a skirt pile, and then she has just one t-shirt pile. So it's a mix of short sleeve and long sleeve t-shirts. So for her, I actually had mixed in her 4T clothes with her 3T clothes that she was wearing, and now she's really transitioning to 4T, mainly because of her height. So like her dresses are too short, and her sometimes her pants are too short. I don't want really short shorts on her, so we are transitioning into 4T with her and going through all these things. I did go to Target and buy quite a few things for her already that are 4T, so those have already been added in. So the things I'm getting rid of are 3T, and then I'm just going to keep the 4T items already stocked in here. So like I said, my mom's amazing. So some of those pants are already 4T and she's already been wearing them. I mean, sizing's crazy. It depends on like what store you're at, and even myself, you can be drastically different sizes at different stores. So that can make it a little hard to shop at. But I have found that for the most part, like Target, Walmart, even Gap, and Carter's, those are pretty standard across the board with my kiddos. My daughter is a dress girly, so her closet is full of dresses, and I even wrote down that I wanted to get one or two more dress, like tank top dresses and short sleeve dresses. She lives in those, and we have to force her to wear other things. When she's going to soccer practice, I'm like, no, you're not going to wear a dress. Or if we're going to the zoo or something where we're moving a ton, I just like to have her in shorts or a skirt and a t-shirt instead. So I do have those things for her, but I definitely don't buy as much as I do for my son. Just because Josie loves her dresses, and I love that she loves those dresses. But we're just going through everything. Some things are the wrong size. Some things are like totally destroyed and stained, so I'm not going to donate those. But for the most part, if it's like still in good condition, I'm saving it for maybe a next baby, and eventually down the road I can give it to my siblings if they have kiddos. And so I don't like to get rid of anything if it can be repurposed and reused again. So this is Josie's bin of clothes. You can see it's like overflowing of things that don't fit, or things that I had put up there that were seasonal as we went into fall and winter. So I've got a lot to go through to see what will fit her, what can be donated, and what we're going to fold up and save for future babies. So I have piles of clothes that are going to be rehung up in Josie's room. That t-shirt I had in Josie's room but is now Jax's size. We have winter items, and I have items divided into 2T, 3T, 18 months, and then I have a trash and a donation pile. So this is what it looks like right now. And it's kind of crazy. All these clothes came out of my kiddos' rooms, and they still have a ton of clothes in there. It's truly amazing what fits in there. But here's an overview of my daughter's room. I showed you her 6-cube organizer because that's where she keeps her swimsuits, socks, and underwear, along with toys and stuff. But then this is her closet. I really do want to get in here and get like shelving and drawers put in here, and so that's why I haven't bought a dresser for her yet. I'm still trying to work with figuring out how I want to do her closet, but I'm thinking like semi-custom things in here. I just think that would work a little bit better. So I really love how I've been storing my kids' clothes, and I even do this with like my maternity clothing. I put it in one of these space bags, and you just suck all the air out, so it keeps them like protected from bugs and like stuff when they're in my basement. Our basement's not finished, so that's important, but then it takes up way less space than like a Rubbermaid big old container. So this has worked well for me. I just put a post-it note on the top of what size it is, and then I can pull it out when we need the next size. I have been looking forward to decluttering and organizing my closet for weeks. I knew that I had this video planned, so I was like really resisting the urge to go through and do it. I have run out of hangers and the drawers were starting to feel really tight. As you can see, I have Christmas items still in here that I want to put away in a bin. So I was itching to get in here and do it. So I made myself do my kiddos' closets first, and then I was able to come in here and do mine. So this was like a 3-day project, not because each thing took a long time, but just because I took it easy and I was like, okay, I'll do Jax's closet one day, Josie's closet one day, and then my clothes and closet another day. But all in all, it didn't take so long. The very first time I decluttered, it took me a lot of time. And then the second time, it took me less, but still a lot, because you're still getting in that rhythm of like, do I want to keep it? Do I want to get rid of it? You kind of overcomplicate things. And so I have gotten to the point now where I'm like, okay, no, donate it. I don't think twice about it. There have been a couple occasions where I go to look for something and I was like, shoot, I think I donated that. But I can't even count on my hand how many times that's happened, like maybe once or twice. And so overall, it just makes you feel so much better when you have less stuff, like kind of a cluttered space means a cluttered mind. So trying to take that approach with when you're decluttered, then it feels better. So 2 things I have really hard time decluttering are t-shirts like this and then my hats. I just feel like I wear them a lot. And so trying to decide what I want to get rid of can be kind of hard. So now I'm going through my shorts drawer. This drawer, I definitely feel like I've accumulated and then definitely haven't gotten rid of. So now I'm going to go through and just be brutally honest about, what fits, what have I not touched in a couple years, and get rid of things like that. So I wanted to show you where we're starting so that when we end, you can see that it's not necessarily a giant difference, but I filled up 3 trash bags worth of clothing, and I just feel like I can see my items that are hung up way better than I could before. And if you know what you have, you're going to wear a variety of things. And I just think it's good not to keep things that you're not going to wear. Or for me, sometimes I have things in there that don't fit and I'm like, oh, I love that and I wish I could wear it. And I don't need to have that, in the front of my mind every time I walk into my closet that, oh, that doesn't fit. Oh, that doesn't fit. So I think it's just healthy to get rid of things. And it doesn't mean like I could never fit in that again. But if I get to that size, then I'll just go and buy something that I enjoy. So when I tell you this project took me maybe 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, I'm not joking at all. And this was, being interrupted by kids some of the time, having to pause and go do nap time. And so it does not take that much time to make such a huge impact. I will say though, however, I have been doing this twice a year. So I'll do this in the fall and then in the spring, and that's been a really good cadence for me. Not to say like you couldn't do it every season or just once a year, but when you do it this way, I have found that it's not such a burden and you don't accumulate too much, so that when you are organizing, it's not going to be like a multiple day project. For me, it truly was like I worked during nap time and then I worked when my kids went to bed, because I didn't have a solid 2.5 hours that I could spend working on decluttering. However, when you first start, it can be overwhelming because you might feel like you have a ton of things. Everything could be bursting, So take it easy. You can literally do it like a drawer at a time, or a category at a time. Maybe you are a shoe girl. Go through all your shoes and decide what you're going to get rid of, what you want to keep. I think that if you take it category by category when you're first starting out, that can really help lessen the burden. But like I said, if you can maintain doing it twice a year, then it really isn't that big of a burden. And I think you would end up saving time in the long run because you wouldn't let things pile up. But I loved going through my closet. Like I said, I've been dying to do this. And so it's something that I desperately needed to do because I ran out of hangers and was stealing hangers from my husband. And I told myself, when you run out of hangers, you can't buy anymore. But, that's life. And so this was desperately needed. You might have noticed like I'm taking some things off. I'm not donating everything I'm taking off. Some things I'm going to fold and put in like a long sleeve drawer. Some things I'm taking off and switching their hangers and putting them back on. So it just depends. And so I wanted to point out this set that I'm going to take off. It's this navy blue set. I really like it and I like the way that it feels. However, when I wore it the last time, I hated how it like caught lint and hair, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna donate it because I probably won't grab for it again because I hated the way the lint caught to it, but someone else might not bug them, so I'm gonna repurpose that and give that a new life. But like I said, I just think this is so important for your mental health too, to clear this out. And then I think it is fun too because you start to wear things that you have forgotten about or couldn't see. So before shoes, I wanted to point out, here's a little tip. I flip the top of the hanger on items that I think I want to donate, but I'm not quite ready to pull the trigger on, so that the next go around when I go through my closet and I see that flipped hanger and I maybe think to myself, I'm not sure if I want to donate this again, I can have that like realization really quick of, oh, you said that last time, you should probably just go ahead and get rid of it if you haven't worn it yet. So that's a really nice tip that I have, and it helps me get rid of things that maybe I would do that process of, I don't know, I'm going to hang on to it a couple times. It kind of eliminates that burden. Thank you so much if you've made it this far in the video. I appreciate you more than you know. If you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'd love to have you back next week for a new video. Bye.